Hello, my dear students. It's really nice to be back once again. Even today, we will be discussing about sociology, okay, and for class 11. And we have been discussing on the third unit, okay, and which is about the social institutions. In my last class, I have given you a brief introduction about the kinship, okay, and we also have discussed about the types of kinship, and we started on the degree of kinship. Along with that, we also had discussed a little bit about the incest taboo, right? Now, today, I would like to discuss about the degree of kinship. In my last class, you have learned that primary kin are those kins, right, who are directly related to you. For example, the relationship between the father and the son, the relationship between the husband and the wife, right, who are directly related to each other, right? The next one is the secondary kin, okay? The secondary kin, who are they here? The primary kin of our first degree kin are our secondary kin, okay? The primary kin, okay? The primary kin that you have, for example, Mr. A, Mr. A's primary kin is his sister, okay? Sister who is who is Miss P, okay? Now, this Mr. A has a sister called as Miss P, okay? Now, they enjoy primary kin, right? Now, what does it say here? The primary kin of our first degree, okay? Kin are our secondary kin, okay? For example, So what happened is that, Mr. A and Mr. A also has a father, okay? And a mother, okay? Now, all those are your primary kin. Your sister, father, or even your mother is your primary kin. Now, your primary kins, okay, direct, or first degree, kin. No, his primary kin again. Who is his primary kin? His father or his mother, right? So, your father's father, okay, can be your secondary kin, okay? In your textbook, page number 37, it is clearly mentioned here. Now, example of secondary kins are father's father, which is your paternal grandfather, right? And your mother's father, which we call as grandfather, but it is also called as maternal grandfather, right? Or your mother's, mother, which is called as maternal grandmother. Or, for example, your father's, mother, okay, which is called as paternal grandmother, right? So those people, with whom you have primary kin, and your primary kin is again called as your secondary kin, okay? So in your textbook, it's mentioned that the primary kin of a first degree, okay? The first degree with whom you share your bond with is your father, right? So this is called as the first degree, okay? And first degree is, okay, primary kin is your, it can be his father, okay, or his mother, okay. So that can be called as secondary kin, okay. For example, your sister's husband, okay. So your primary kins, okay, direct relation, or your direct, what do you say here? Yeah, your first degree relationship, relation has also a primary kin, and that is called as secondary kin, okay, secondary kin. The relationship between you and your grandfather, the relationship between you and your grandmother, okay, your maternal grandmother, your maternal grandfather, or even your, sister's husband, okay, all those people are called as your secondary kin, okay. Now, we can find, okay, we can find 33 types of, secondary kin, okay. We can see 33 kind of secondary kins here, okay. For example, even wives or husbands, brothers, okay. For example, Mr. A is married to Miss B, okay. Now, Miss B has a sister and a brother, okay. Now, the relationship between your in-laws, okay, Mr. A's sister-in-law, who is the sister of your wife, okay, and Mr. A's brother, okay, which is your brother-in-law, okay, those relationships are called as secondary. Okay, you have a direct relationship with B. Okay, which is, yeah, and Miss B also has some primary kins. Okay, through her, okay, you are related. Okay, this kind of kin or relationship is called as secondary kinship. The next is called as tertiary. Okay, now it will be a little elaborative to you now here. Now tertiary kinship, so it will go even more further than the secondary kinship. Now, if you can understand this particular topic, okay, it will be very easy for you. Now, here, the primary kin of our secondary kin, see, the primary kin of our secondary kin or secondary kin of our primary kin is known as tertiary kin, okay. Now, the primary kin of our secondary kin. Who is your secondary kin here? Okay, for example, here Mr. A and Miss B, right, which I have mentioned. This is called as primary kin. Now, Miss B has a brother and a sister. Okay, that's what we have known. And we have also learned that this kind of relationship is called as secondary kin, right? Why? Because it is related to your primary kin. Now, it goes even more further than this. Okay, your secondaries, you know, your secondary kins, okay, primary kin. Now, for example, Miss B's, okay, brother is married to Miss X, okay, and Miss Miss B's, okay, brother sister is also married to Mr. Y, okay. Now, this type of relationship, okay, can be called as tertiary, kin. So in this way, it is expanded here, okay. The primary kin of our secondary kin, okay. The primary kin, okay, primary kin of our secondary kin, okay. The primary kin of whose? Of your secondary kin, okay, is called as tertiary kin, or secondary kin of our primary kin, okay, is called as the primary kin, okay. So the secondary kin of our primary kin, okay, who is your primary kin here? Your wife, okay, which is your Miss B. And what does it say here? Her secondary kin, okay. Who is her secondary kin? Here, her brother is directly related to her, so this is primary kin for her. But who is her secondary kin here? Miss B's, secondary kin is her, is her sister-in-law. Okay. Now, this type of relationship, your primary kin's secondary kin is your tertiary kin. That is what it means here. And we can find around 151 tertiary kins. Okay. Kindly underline this important point. In your page number 37, point number 3. Okay. Point number 3, second paragraph, it is mentioned about this. Okay. 151 types of tertiary kins is what we find here. Your father's brother's wife, another one. See, your father's, it is clearly given in your textbooks also. Okay, the examples. Now, the examples are given here. Okay, here it says that. Okay, it says that your father's brother's wife. Okay, your father's, okay, brother's wife is your tertiary kin. Okay, the relationship which you have with your father is primary, right? The relationship which you have with your father's brother is secondary. Okay, the relationship that you have with your father's brother's wife is tertiary kin. That is what it means here. Okay, that is why it is said in your textbook that your primary kin of our secondary kin. Okay, means your secondary kin. Who is your secondary kin here? Your uncle, paternal uncle. That is what we can say. Your father's brother is your secondary kin. And what does it say here again? Of our secondary kin, the primary kin, whose primary kin is his wife. Okay, so this person will be your tertiary kin. Okay, the second your primary kin of your secondary, secondary kin. That is what it means here. Or secondary kin of our primary kin. See, secondary kin, okay, secondary kin of your primary kin. Now, here his relationship with this person is your tertiary, okay, kin. So, if you can kindly understand this diagram and if you can cite some examples, it will be very easy for you to understand. Now, it goes till, it also goes to various divisions here. It is mentioned in your textbook. In this way, the degree of kinship can be extended to 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, or even more than that, okay, degree, okay. So, in that way, you can be related to people. Now, the next one is the kinship behavior or usages, okay. Now, what kind of behavior, in what way, in what manner can this kinship be used? Now, the first point of kinship usages is avoidance, okay. Avoidance, A-V-O-I-D-A-N-C-E, avoidance, okay. So, what does it mean here? It is a type of usage with some restrictions. There are some restrictions imposed. What are those restrictions? It's given in your page number 36, okay. The first point. Now, here, restrictions are imposed on close interactions, see, with certain kinmen, okay, kinsmen. So, you cannot have close interaction with some of your relatives, that is as simple as that. You cannot have close relation or, close interaction, okay, you cannot talk to that person, close interaction with your relatives, with some of your relatives. Who are they? It is mentioned in your textbook that among the Hindus, as a result, there are such restrictions. Certain relatives are avoid talking to each other directly. They do not have the direct conversation with each other. Okay. Now, avoid physical contact, minimum social interaction with each other, and so on. See, such restrictions are put to some certain individuals. For example, there is a person with whom I need to have some certain distance. Okay, whenever I meet him, I do not talk to him, or I do not socialize in the same organization too often with that person present in a society. Okay, now some of the kin by such restrictions among the Hindus are parent-in-law, okay, daughter-in-law, mother-in-law, or son-in-law, okay, or husband's elder brother. Okay, for example, for a lady, okay, for example, they are married couple, the wife and the husband. The wife cannot have direct contact with the husband's brother, which is her brother-in-law, right? So such kind of relationship, such kind of usages, things that they practice, okay, can be called as avoidance. They don't interact to each other, they try to avoid each other, they try to avoid engaging too often in the same social organization. So such kind of things, practices are called as avoidance. The next is joking relationship. Okay, joking, J-O-K-I-N-G. When I say joking, you will be thinking it in a very funny way. Yes, it is. There are some relationship with whom there are some relationship which is built putting on like jokes and all the stuff. You can crack jokes with those people, right? For example, me and my grandfather, okay, we keep on constantly cracking jokes with each other, and this is the relationship that we have. Yes, we have times where we are very serious with each other, but yes, we also joke around with each other, right? We make fun of each other, and in such cases this kind of relationship does not feel bad with each other. Means we do not hold any personal grudges against each other. So this kind of relationship or this kind of usages is called as joking relationship here. Okay, now a joking relationship is generally found between a man and his wife's younger sister. Okay, man in his wife's younger sister, which is his sister-in-law. So such kind of relationship can be found here. Okay, the next is technonomy. Okay, technonymy. Okay, so here it says that no, when two kinsmen do not address each other directly, rather through a third person or a symbol, this usages is called as technonymy. Okay, technonymy is a term which is used for two persons, no, two relatives. Okay, they do not have direct contact with each other, they do not talk to each other. Okay, but if you want to convey some messages, there is a third person. No, he tells him, for example, no, and he passes the information to him. Okay, saying that no, I got a job. But then he cannot say it directly to him. Okay, Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C. Okay, he has to say it to Mr. C, saying that I got a job, and Mr. C will convey the same message to him. Okay, he got a job. And after that, okay, say no, convey my congratulations to him. Mr. C will also do the same. No, such kind of relationship can be found here. And here it says that no, this kind of practice, can be found in rural India, where women generally do not utter the name of their husband or elderly in-laws. Okay, here when the wife does not utter the name of her husband like a sign of respect, or her husband's elder brothers, okay, such kind of relationship can be found here. Okay, the next is called as avinculate. Okay, avinculate is all about your maternal uncle, means your mother's brother, elder brother. Okay, he takes the role of your father. Here the role of the father is very small, okay, very minute. Here the uncle will teach you how to socialize in the society. He will also talk to you about the property of the family, right? And here, the nephew works for him rather than his father. See, so what happened is that here is a kind of family, husband, wife, they have sons. Okay, now here the son will not work for his father, but the son will work for the wife's brother, okay, elder brother, that is your maternal uncle. Okay, so this kind of relationship, is called as avinculate. Okay, avinculate is common in matrilineal societies, those societies where the lineage is descended through the mother. Okay, this kind of relationship can be found in such societies, matrilineal societies. Now the next is called as amitate, A-M-I-T-A-T-E, amitate. Now this is your paternal aunt. Okay, means, for example, here is your father, here is your mother, and they have a son. Okay, now what happened is that the father has some siblings. Okay, sister, he has a sister here, and your father's sister is called as your aunt, or it is also called as paternal aunt. Okay, relationship to your father, right? Now paternal aunt, that is what it means here. Now she also takes the same role like the avinculate, like your mother's brother. Okay, here she takes the role in order to shape you, and most of the time you spend the time with your aunt's house, where you learn how to socialize yourself, right? And those are some of the things which has been taught to her. Okay, and this particular son, okay, also inherit the property of her aunt, okay, paternal aunt. And such kind of practices can be found in the amitate. Okay, amitate. Now she is called the female father. See, she is taking the role of a father, so that is the reason why she is also called as the female father here. Okay, it is usually found in patrilineal societies, male dominated, or the descent which is taken through the male societies. This kind of practices can be found. The last one is called as couvade. Okay, couvade, a husband imitates the behavior of the wife. Okay, for example, when she is pregnant, he also tries to go through the pain. Okay, and when she goes through so loads of pain, and when she is abstaining herself from food and everything, he also go through the same thing. Okay, so such kind of practices are called as couvade. Okay, C-O-U-V-A-T-A, couvade. Okay, now this practice is common among the Khasi tribe of Meghalaya and Todas of Nilgiri. Okay, Toda tribe of Nilgiri. So those are some of the usages of kinship which we can find. Okay, now with that I would like to conclude our classes for today. In the coming classes, we will be discussing about the kinship terms, how do you address your uncle, aunts, and etc. Right? So with that I would like to conclude our classes, And I request all of you to stay home and stay safe. Thank you so much.